Good evening, everyone. I'm coming online. It's a bit much now, I'm doing my best to be as respectful, friendly, cordial, and continual in what I've about approximately now since I came out of isolation in, I want to say, 2023. My son unfortunately passed in 2022, so I stayed in Atlanta because I had to leave from where I was staying with my ex in Harlem. Long story short, I've been outside since then, like a get out of get out of jail free card after isolation for quite some time. And then it was continual during the process of me teaching about judgment. Judgment, again, is an ascension process of character reformation, of you making yourself as a chosen one. You do choose yourself, but choosing yourself has to do with a transformation of yourself from how you are currently into becoming the best version of yourself by chosen ones telling you how to do it, by being upright, being someone that is empathic. Empathy means that you care about not only yourself, you can feel and have compassion for others. And that will require, at least if you see something, you can say something. If you can't do something to help another that may be in need without calling the police, that on the spot you can do something to help that soul. Or, just being more compassionately caring to each other when you see someone homeless and someone less fortunate, that you are willing, able, or willing, ready, and able to assist that individual. We are really still standoffish in New York City that I stay in. I live in the heart of Brooklyn in Flatbush. And I had a great day today. I did not go outside, but to just share and give love. And I see a lot more happier faces and demeanors that seem rather very pleased when they see me and they bump into me. This video is going to be about 4 to 5 minutes long. It's now 2 minutes and 20 seconds. Okay, so what I'm trying to get at is when I went to Harlem, as I go along with God, and I do frequent the places I visited when I was a teenager, not a child, but a teenager, that I used to shop on 125th Street from in the Bronx. They have a lot of, stores there, and the Apollo Theater is there and stuff like that. And I would party in Brooklyn. One of my children's father is in Brooklyn, somebody I dated for many, many years that is a friend of the family. I consider someone that's still, very, very close to me. I know him from since I was 23. I'm 45 now, so that's about 22 years. Long story short, I went outside. I was on 125th Street, so I have a loud mouth, and I'm very entertaining. I'm very, social butterfly. And everything I say is positive. So I had to use the bathroom. But a lot of times when I talk, what should not happen is my freedom of speech should never be impaired, as predominantly everybody knows me to be a positive individual. All I do is represent God. Now, in that representing of God, I have a lot of people that don't like the fact that I talk about God. I'm very crass, bluntly honest, and I was not always this way. The one thing that you can attest to is that as a native New Yorker at my age of 45, right? At my age of 45, you would know the ropes and the ins and outs of not being a teenager, like if I was just born a few years ago. I'm really seasoned. I'm an adult and I am an elder. Over the age of 40, you become an elder. No one should ever impede on your natural law rights as a human being that's not threatening to anybody, but I have a right to curse anybody out. If in my own defense, that's all I can do, I don't want to hurt you or anybody else, but if I bring attention to being loud about what's going on, any and everyone can use deductive reasoning to know someone upset me. Now, when I go in the store and I start, being loud, it does not make me, based on what I'm saying, disoriented to seem like I come across as a threat. Now, as I went in the store, the cops that were there assigned saw me. So perhaps when they saw me, they smiled. they heard me coming up the steps. And what I was saying, was in my own defense. Someone told me, kill all that noise. I said, well, I'm not going to kill all the noise because I'm not saying anything that anyone should tell me to kill all that noise. I mean, he kind of said that to poke at me a little bit, but before he said that, I was talking about sex. I was talking about bisexuality. I was saying that I'm not afraid to die, as I've been tested and put to the test so many times. If it comes down to me seeing that I'm not welcomed on my own planet I was born and raised on, I'm 45 years young, right, aging backwards. Someone told me today I look like I'm 25, and I do. I bumped into some young girls down at, Sephora over there at Atlantic, across the street from Barclays Center. And they were entering as I was exiting, and when they saw me, it was like, in person, I look rather young. A young Haitian guy today, he looked very young, and his older brother, was closing up the shop, the barber shop, and I happened to, walk by and see how he was tending to the young man, and it was very personable, and it reeled me in. So I may be a little long-winded. I'm going to describe my age, and I asked him how old does he think I am, and he said 25. I said, no, I'm 45, and I showed him my ID. All I'm saying is that, when it comes to me, I am chosen. And that's just what it is. God chose me, and I went through that chosen, transformational, transformative process of what most normal chosen ones go through, that are chosen by God. And it's all over social media, indicating what a true chosen one is and what we do experience. If you have not gone through that, then you just aren't God's anointed chosen ones. Now, there's a lot of people that think they know what's going on. I would be a top chosen one. Me. One, because we have an auric field of electromagnetic energy that gives off a color, just like the top chakra, your chakric system. Right? Chakric sounds like electricity. And it is. We are made up of light energies. Phenomenal that we are made of fire. Right? This is made of fire. Energies, gases. That goes to show you that God mastered his self consciousness. Now, there's something that's going on now. When I was on 125th Street, I had to pee like a racehorse. So usually I go in the Marshalls over there on the corner of Lenox, off of the corner of Lenox on 125th Street, across the street from Whole Foods. Now, when I went in there, like I was talking to everybody like I do, and making a stink about it, that God is letting me with him, let everybody be aware of he's not playing. Times have changed, whereas everybody, he's telling me mentally, is going through some sort of a transitioning, that we, the chosen one, that predecessed you all going through it, all over the social media, indicates Carl Jung, Jung, CarlJung, right? Jung or Young, right? He sounds like he has like a little Italian, some sort of a, romantic language, French or Italian. I don't like stuttering, but I'm trying to get this message really fast out. As I go in there and I'm going to use the bathroom, telling everybody, just joking, really, really loud, because that's how I am. But somebody had said something to me, and as I went up the escalator to the first floor, it's like the bathroom, I think, is on the second floor. The cops saw me and they were laughing. Going all the way up, I was being crass. If you have a problem with me and I don't have a problem with you, and you think I'm a bad person, maybe you should, right, jerk off to my pictures. You know what I'm saying? Like, calm down. I have a lot of good energy. And if you are having a bad day, why don't you go on my page and look at my face and jerk off? That's good. Men do that all the time. Because if you're that agitated, I'm giving you a remedy with my good energies. And I said, why don't you all try it? Jerk off to me. I am highly spiritual. And I know, and God backed me up, that you all can see that I talk to within me, that he doesn't do that with everybody, said I would honor it. I go upstairs to go to the bathroom. There's no one waiting on the line. Usually there's people waiting on the line to use that one bathroom, right? It has like 3 stalls in there. Then somebody that works there, security, like about 5'6" with locks in his hair, tells me to hurry up and go in the bathroom. So I said, well, you're stopping me from going in the bathroom. You want me to hurry up, and you're stopping me by talking to me, telling me that I need to hurry up. I was like, you're not my father. Then he says he wants to take me and he'll shoot me in the head. I keep talking. I'm like, listen, what rights do you have in the store? I'm loud, right? I'm loud. But what I'm saying is non-threatening. Why would you take what I'm saying out of context? I wasn't talking to you, so I don't know you personally. I don't know your name. So it wasn't a personal message to you like that. If it's a general message and I'm saying it to everybody, why would you take it upon yourself to come and personally talk to me? Then you included it as a personal direct message, and then now you're becoming violent in what you're saying. Now, I'm not talking about anything having to do with hurting anybody. I'm talking about sex. To try to quell everybody's sex selves. And why would you respond to me violently that you'll come over there to shut me up? I said, did you fuck my mother? Respectfully to my father and my mother. Did you fuck my mother with, ejaculating in her to get pregnant with me for you to have any rights to tell me that you want to kill me? I said, take that gun that you telling me you should come over there and shush me up and blow your fucking brains out. Because it's not making any sense that you get that angry at me for wanting to use the bathroom. I said I have to pee like a racehorse. Hurry up and go in the bathroom and pee. I'm like, well, hold up. You're telling me to hurry up and go pee, and that's what I'm about to do. And you're stopping me. So if I'm making a lot of noise, I came here to use the bathroom, right? So you're stopping me. Why don't you be a home health aide like my mother was and come wipe my fucking pussy and ass? So whoever the cops were that was in there, I guess they shifted, right, at that time. So whoever replaced them were two other cops, a male and a female. They run up the steps on the escalator to the floor that I am, hearing the commotion that's going on. And I understand the precaution. But if you listen to what's being said, you don't push me out the door as if I'm doing something wrong. You didn't investigate to see, well, what's going on here. You just escorted me. Can you leave the premises? I was like, well, I didn't do anything wrong. Then the Asian guy, whatever background, Japanese, Korean, or Chinese, I don't know, started shoving me. These are police officers. And he had a female, partner there. So I said, you're not supposed to touch me. Why are you touching on me? And so he was like, well, hurry up. I said, I'm walking. She said, no, you have to hurry up. I said, well, how fast do you want me to get out the store if you ask me to leave, right? And you think I'm causing that much of a problem? You pushing on me is not making any sense because I'm not resisting leaving. I'm walking out the door. So you shouldn't have pushed me. And he kept pushing on me, walking and bullying me out the store. So I started running. I said, I'm leaving faster than you. It shouldn't be that serious. Look, I'm running down the steps. They kept coming behind me. They should have yielded. If you see I'm leaving, you escorting me that much, bullying me out the store, it didn't make any sense. So what I'm trying to show you all is this. Cops should never be cops if you have psychological problems. If someone is doing something that you can hear what they're saying, you come over to investigate. You don't use brute force. And a male should never touch a female, civilian. If you have a female officer there, she's supposed to interact with me. I know the law. So if you don't investigate and you try to just write me off as if I'm a troublemaker, that's not what happened. So as I went out the store, I was on the sidewalk. That's public property. He said, don't make sure you can't come back in here again. Make sure you don't cross the line and come back in here. I said, but I'm not. But I started talking to him. I said, you were wrong. And whatever I said to him, I guess it pissed him off. He came out the store to the sidewalk by where the bus stop is and shoved me again. Now, I just now put up a couple of videos pertaining to honoring police officers, fire department, sanitation, hospital people like, doctors, nurses, LPNs, home health aid workers, right? Social workers, right? I just now said a video to honor them, military personnel, governance. Why would, the next 2 days, I advocate for officers, and I got a recording here pertaining to, right, a a recording from the local police department that they're being attacked. I have a video with Harrison Ford indicating that there's some sort of black moral movement. God is doing that. God allows a very exaggerated experience to happen for you all to get in trouble. Now, what I said, right, in honor of saving lives, to kind of like bring more awareness to the civilian or the public, to honor those who are really in need of some sort of a rescuing from somebody like me. Yeah, to kind of like balance off the adversity to cops that they now have all these advertisements all over New York City, right? Where we want to hire cops. We need police officers, but who they're hiring, they are not passing the psychological test. If you have governmental uniform with a badge, right, licensed gun, you should never use excessive force where not necessary. You ask questions and you nullify or diffuse an escalated situation or the potential of what can be escalated by reasoning, right, with like water to kind of like quell it and calm it down. That's what diffusing it is. Now, whoever that officer was, and you are, according to the Most High, you should have never touched me. And I know that. You don't use brute force if the person agrees to leave the premises. You don't shove them. That's the second or third time that a police officer has overstepped their bounds. That means you all are hiring people who have mental illness. And if they have insecurities about their own ego, becoming a police officer is masking that they are punks. Because why would you have a badge, already be intimidating to a female, and then I agree to leave the premises, and then you shove me, and then you come all the way outside on the sidewalk, and you chase behind me that I had to run in the street, and you push me. Like, why was that necessary? I'm in his head. And I told you I'm in his head, right? But the whole situation is no one could read anybody's mind. So the behavior was really, truly odd. We need to be very careful right now because everybody's going through what the chosen ones that predecessed you about 5 years in advance is going through. That's what you have just disclosed to me, that everybody is being mentally abrupted with a rude awakening. Yep. Please be careful and do not pass the test of anger. No one should use brute force when it comes to talking. Please control your emotions as adults, especially those in prominent positions, that if someone says something to you that you don't like, lashing out violently to them and with them would get you into some hot water when it comes to me, the anointed. The planet is not at its height yet of its vibration. It's not. At the height of Gaia or Mother Earth being at the highest vibration, it would be either in the lowest purging of the planet. It would be like anarchy, like an apocalyptic event such as what COVID did, where everything shut down. No, the Most High said he's not going to do that. And it's not at its highest because the highest vibration of Gaia would be actually heaven on earth. So please stay tuned to me. It's 19 minutes. I don't like long-winded videos, but control your tempers. The test is God has turned on your agitation to be easily provoked. If you already are a person that gets easily angered and you have insecurities and you've been bullied or whatever your mental psychological issues are, As you are a police officer, you don't have to use excessive force. People don't want to lose their lives. They don't want to be arrested or humiliated. So their demeanor in them cooperating with you should never make you of any police officer, military, utilize ego and emotions called anger to obsessively abuse a civilian. That is wrong. There would be some severe repercussions when you do that. That's taking matters out of necessary into your own hand, and you would never want anybody to do that to your loved one. If they don't know your family and everybody's pretty much private, you wouldn't want your family members to experience something like that with another fellow brother, officer, military personnel, or whatever have you. So please be mindful all across the board. And you all are now officially in what you call the twilight zone, where your reality is being abrupted as a purging. That if you're at a low vibration called the sacral chakra that exhibits the type of behavior of anger, sex, lust, and fear, also tying into insecurity, ego, right? And not being aware of your own emotions, that you are focused so much on another person, you're not in tune to check your own self. Be very careful, because the police are meant to protect and serve and enforce the law. If you violated the law today, whoever you are, please come clean. In Harlem on 125th Street, the nearest precinct that would let you be hired to work in Marshall's there, and turn yourself in and get you some psychological help. Have a good day, everybody. Please be on your P's and Q's. I should never, ever be a threat being so positive outside. In my own defense as a female that has my mouth, everybody talks. But when you think that I'm talking to you personally and I have not had one conversation with you one-on-one, you take my messages personally to the point where all I do is talk about God, I talk about love, I talk about self-mastery, I talk about emotionally being intelligent, checking yourself to make sure you don't get out of character so that you get arrested or killed. That's all I talk about. That it's judgment on planet Earth, that what goes around comes around karmically very quickly now, and everybody's going through everything that I went through prior. That's why I am a light bearer to tell you about what to expect. No one should be threatened by telling me that you want to blow my brains out. What the fuck? Are you my father? You're not the giver and taker of life, and you did not make planet Earth that sustains itself. No, the almighty, omnipresent being that's almighty, omnipotently, all-powerful, all-intelligent. Omniscient means all knowledgeable. If you are not the giver and taker of life, thou shalt not kill. What the fuck you think you're telling me? You're going to blow my brains out and I'm activated with the Most High. Don't let these two eyes fool you. My size means that God still utilizes me as a conduit, that he possesses my body. If you are mad at God to that degree, you're going to personally be mad with him, utilizing his mind to curse him out in me. Be very careful what you say to me. You invoke a self-inflicted unnecessary karma when you attack God and me activated as possessing my body. I'm a native New Yorker, meaning I know how New Yorkers are. I'm one of them. So me talking about God so much and random people all over the World Wide Web talking about God, recording it, that God is telling them to make these videos, be very careful. If you can't sustain life with every life form on here, and we have laws that says what goes around comes around. If you dig a hole for me, dig a hole for you as well, because that hole that you dug for me, you're going to fall into it. Be very careful. This is not a day and time to play with. You are utilizing the Most High's mind to think negatively about him. That's what he takes personally, and he eats at your fucking consciousness. Eating your conscience because you know you're wrong. You can't be wrong and strong and ignore right from wrong with someone that doesn't know you from a can of paint, that you want to blow their brains out for them expressing in their own defense if someone says or does something to disrespect them personally. Get your fucking minds right. Most High, please wipe this shit out respectfully.